Hello and welcome to today's video. My name is Gabby and today we are going to be putting all of my book series into a tracker. I am in the middle of so many series right now. I have so many that I've started, so many new ones that I've bought and plan to read, obviously, that I'm just kind of losing my mind a little bit because I don't know where I am in each series and I feel like I need some sort of physical list to keep me accountable at this point. I've even seen all the trackers online that you can buy off Etsy, all the templates and everything. Nothing is hitting the way I need it to. Nothing tracks all the data the way that I need it to. So what we are going to be doing is I have my trusty iPad here and I have my little, what is this called? Notability open, and we are going to make our own. It's not going to be very aesthetic, but it is going to keep track of all the information in a way that is easy for me and helps to keep me accountable with my reading goals and how many series I am starting but not finishing, because that is just my biggest problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to screen record and then I'll put my little iPad frame up like right here, like so. I also am going to pull up my Goodreads on my phone, and we have all of my read books here on my Goodreads. So we're starting with just a blank page. I'm just gonna give a quick little title up here. Nothing too aesthetic for now. I haven't honestly used my iPad in so long because I bought it when I was in undergrad and I used it for 3 years. And then once I graduated, I used the heck out of it when I was in undergrad. My notes were insane, but now I've just kind of haven't really had any purpose for it, to be honest with you. And like I said, we're not really going for aesthetics here. We're going more for the easiest way to track all of our data. We're gonna pick a little color. I think we'll do pink, and then usually what I used to do on my notes was like, oops, that's too big. How do I change the size? Here we go. We'll kind of do some little swirls like that, and then we can kind of move everything down a little bit so that it fits. There we go. Perfect. So we're first going to start with the title, and then we're going to include, I guess, this is so hard to decide what to put in it and what order to do. I think we're going to do number of books read, and then we're going to add number of books left. And then we're gonna have some color coding going on. So I think titles in red, I'm gonna leave this as a note. Red is DNF, series that I'm not going to be continuing, so I'll write their series in red. And then we'll do kind of a series status. So if a series is complete or incomplete, it'll go on that line. And I think for now, that's what we'll include. So that's kind of the way. Those are like the most important stats to me. When things are completed, I think I want to maybe I'll leave like a little checkbox in the first square for each one. So when I do finish them, I can just check them off. I feel like that can be really satisfying. And what I like about doing it on the iPad is that once I do decide to DNF a series, I can move that series to the bottom of the page and it can be like out of sight, out of mind in that sort of sense. And I'm going to go through my Goodreads. This is the part I'm dreading, and see what we have, series that we need to be caught up on. What's also hard is I don't know if I want to really include like standalones or not. Oh, we should also put the genre in. That would be a good idea. I think we should put genre. Or maybe we'll color code by genre. So let's pick some colors. So red is already DNF. Since we already did pink for the title, maybe we'll choose a different shade of pink. Maybe we'll do purple for romance. We'll do blue for fantasy. And then we'll do green for, I don't know, does this get too confusing? Green for general fiction? Maybe what I'll do is I'll put maybe I'll color code them in the genre section, if that makes sense. So let's duplicate this a few times. All the way down. And then that way, when we have a new page, we can just duplicate the whole page over. Perfect. Our first page is all set up. I am going to now add in all the titles. This is honestly so hard because there are so many series that I started when I first started reading a lot, and I know I'm not gonna finish them, but I'm like, do I include them as series DNFs? I don't know. That's the hard part. I think we're not going to include most of these because it's like, if I know that I'm not going to finish a series, or ones that I've already completed, that's another thing. Like, do I include Harry Potter? Do I include The Bonds That Tie? I read all, each series has like 6 books. I think maybe we shouldn't include those. Maybe we shouldn't include series that I've completely finished at the time of this being a thing. So I think we're gonna erase some of these. We'll move this up here. We'll move this up here. And we'll kind of focus on the series that are still being published. We don't really need to focus on the ones that I've already finished and have been finished. And we don't need to focus on the ones that I know I'm not going to pick up again, because then it's just getting a little bit too confusing. I think if something moves to a DNF, at that point we don't even really need a whole DNF section. Now that I think about it, we can just erase it. You know what I mean? So I think that'll be a good way to do it without getting too confusing. There are so many series that I've started and haven't finished. Twisted by Anna Huang. I never read the last book for that series. I hated that. The Cerulean Chronicles, which is the House on the Cerulean Sea. I loved the first book, but no, I'm not finishing. Like I like some series I just feel like did not need to have a second book, or to have multiple books for that matter. The Inheritance Game series, that was another one that I was like, who cares? At this point, you're dragging it. I think I read the original trilogy and I was like, literally, who cares about this? Not me. Shatter Me, I never finished. I gave all my books away because I just didn't care, truthfully. Okay, I'm going to go through, I'm going to record the rest of the books from a series that I have already started, and then I will check in with you once I'm done with that. This lighting is just getting worse and worse, so let's wrap it up here. So I've gone through all of the series that I have actually started, and I have added the number of books I've already finished, the number of books I have left, and whether the series is ongoing or not. So first we have ACOTAR. I've also checked them off if I'm caught up on them or not, because when I'm not caught up on them and more books release, I'll just uncheck them. I feel like that's simple as that. We have ACOTAR, obviously fantasy. I've read 5 books. I have no books left and it is ongoing. More books are going to be released. We have Fae and Alchemy. It's kind of hard because I don't call series by the series names. I usually just go by the first book in the series, whatever that's called. So we have Fae and Alchemy. I've read 1, I have 1 left, and it's still ongoing, I believe. Throne of Glass, I've actually read, I wrote that I read the first 2 and I have 6 left, but I actually read the first 5 about 2 years ago, and then I never finished the series, which is a crime. So I started a reread late in 2025, and I'm counting that as this. We have When in Rome by Sarah J. Adams. I don't know yet completely if I'm going to be finishing this series. I own the second book in the series. I don't own the third or fourth. And I didn't love the first one. So I don't know. I feel like romance books are also kind of complicated being in a series because a lot of times you're not following the same characters, so it doesn't really feel like a full series. We have Chestnut Springs, which I have not finished. There are 5 books. Are there 8 books in Chestnut Springs? I think that's wrong. I think there are 5 total, right? So I should only have 2 left. I keep spelling chestnut wrong. Yeah, there are 5 books total. So that's wrong. I have 2 left. Magnolia Parks. I believe this is also ongoing. I'm not 100% sure. I think there's going to be one more Daisy Hates book, if I'm not wrong. Haven River Ranch. I'm also not sure if this is ongoing. I haven't heard much about this series, but I really enjoyed the first one, and I know the second one's already out. Hopefully it is ongoing. The Edens is completed. Moonfall is still ongoing. I know the second book is releasing, I think actually in May. Alex Stern is also ongoing. The third book releases this summer, I think, and I still have to get caught up with the second one. Oops, I didn't track for Rose Hill. I think Rose Hill I read 2 books. I think there's 2 left. Because I read the pink and orange one and I have the green and the purple left. That sounds right. Stonewater Kingdom I think is another one that is still ongoing. I already pre-ordered the second book, which I think comes out in September, so I'm really looking forward to that one. We have Boys of Tommen, which I'm pretty sure is ongoing, and Ember in the Ashes, which is completed. Sweetwater Peak, which the next book has not been released yet. And then Shadowhunters, I just kind of put this all as its own series because I know there's like 22 books in total. And I was like, I don't really know where I'm at and what my reading order is going to be at. And I'm pretty sure that's complete as well. And then we have Off Campus, which is complete. So now I'm going to go through my physical TBR in what books I own and see what series we can add in here. We're already not looking too good. We already have a lot going on. But you can't know until you start. So we're going to go through and we're going to write down the rest of the series that are in my physical TBR, and then I will check in once that's done, because you don't need to sit here and watch me write every single word. I feel like that's kind of fair. We'll go over the series after that. I don't have any way of separating what ones I've started and what ones I haven't. I guess every one that I haven't started is just going to have a 0 as how many books I've already completed, which kind of sucks. And again, there are so many that I'm not counting because I feel like romance series sometimes can just be kind of silly. I'm like, I don't really count that as a series. A lot of times you're not following the same characters. It is what it is. Unless it's like a dedicated series, like 5 books long, you know, then I'll count it. Otherwise, if it's like 1 or 2 and it's like a duology of a series, I don't know. I just feel kind of silly, especially when I don't really care about the series that much. If I don't care that much about it, I don't know. So technically there are so many more we could add to this list, and I'm just not going to do that to myself. Haha. Anyways, I will see you when I'm done filling in the rest of our data. Every time I go to record, the lighting looks good, and then once I start recording, the lighting changes. But anyways, I have finished filling everything in. So I have not put every series that is on my shelf into this tracker. I feel like it's just way too overwhelming. I have so many. Oh, there's one that I forgot that I actually do need to add in there because I forgot that it was on my physical TBR. So we're gonna add our last one in here and we're gonna call it a wrap. Okay, yeah, I haven't included every single series that is on my physical TBR. I just feel like that would be way too overwhelming, honestly, because I have a lot, and most of them I only own the first book in the series. So it's like, what if I don't even like the series? What if I read the first book and I hate it? Because there are some that I have higher hopes for, and there are some that I am not as excited about. I don't want to add them to the list. I don't want this to be something that feels overwhelming to me, and I can tell you it already does when I see how many books we have here. So let's look through. We ended at Off Campus. So we have Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. I haven't read any of those. I'm hoping to read all of them by the end of this year. We have Harker Academy, which only has 1 book out, but I decided to put it on because it's something I'm really anticipating reading. We have Dungeon Crawler Carl. I put this as complete. I have no idea if it is or not. To be honest, I can't see myself reading the full 8-book series. Like that's one that I'm just like not passionate about, but I'm like, there are 8 books. Maybe if I do really love it, that could be something I'm interested in. I have no idea yet. Anyways, moving on. We have The Legacy. Those are 4 books. They're complete. I really, really want to read those. I have such high hopes for that series and for her other series as well. We have The Wolves of Ruin, which is Direbound. I know the second book comes out, but right now we only have the first book out, so it's still ongoing. I'm really, really looking forward to those books. We have Hierarchy by James Islington. I think it's ongoing. I don't know. I know the second book was released kind of recently, so I don't know if that's something that's ongoing or not. We have Blood and Ash. That is an ongoing series. There are 7 books. I don't even know if I'm going to like them. I only own the first. I put it there because it's such a long and kind of iconic series, I feel like, in the book community, but I don't know if it's gonna be something that totally interests me. So that could be a DNF for sure. We have The Scorched Throne, which is a duology, but it's one that I'm really, really looking forward to. Had to include that one. We had The Legendborn Cycle, which is still ongoing. We had Crescent City, which I believe is still ongoing, I think. But I need to get caught up on Throne of Glass. I'm already caught up on ACOTAR, but once I do that, then I'm going to start Crescent City. We have the Glacian Trilogy, which is completed. We have Drowned Gods, which I believe is completed. All the reviews on it were saying the final installment, so I'm assuming it's just a trilogy. We have Bewitched, which is a duology. We have Calloway Sisters, which is 5 books, and I know those go kind of hand in hand with the Addicted series, but I wanted to kind of keep them separate. I feel like it's less intimidating that way for me. We have Bridgertons. I don't know if I'll read all 8, to be honest. I've seen such mixed reviews that as the books goes on, they don't really stay as good and as intriguing, but we'll see. I feel like I could really love a Regency romance. We have Crowns of Nyaxia, which is still ongoing. I want to read anything Carissa Broadbent. All of her works intrigue me, all of her series. I think she has 2 others, maybe just 1 other, but they do all intrigue me. We have The Undone, which actually is ongoing. I didn't know this. I thought the most recent book was just released, but actually there's a 4th book coming in October, I believe. We have Emily Wilde, which is completed. We have Mistborn. I wrote 3 because I'm kind of focused on just the original. I think they call it Era 1. What if I hate Brandon Sanderson? I know that's a crazy thing to say. What if I don't like them? We'll stick to the original 3 for now. I feel like that's just a lot less daunting to me. Jacksonville Raised, which is a romance series. Again, I don't know how entwined this is as a romance series, but I own all 3, so I may as well read them and count them as one series. And then finally, the one that I just added was House of Devils because I just picked up City of Gods and Monsters this past weekend. It was the first time I've ever seen it in stock in store, so I had to grab it. And again, I have a few other series scattered around my shelf. I don't know if I really count them as series or not. That's the hardest part. Is a romance series really a series? Do I really need to read the first one to read the second one? Most of the time with romance, the answer is no. So it's like, maybe I should have done just fantasy series. Maybe that would have been more useful. But then I have things like Binding 13, Boys of Tommen, where I feel like you have to read all the books and you have to read them in order. So, you know, I don't know. It's so complicated, especially when I'm talking about books that I haven't read. So in total, we have 39 series. That is just way too many. I can't even believe I have that many, honestly. And not that I've started all of them, but having that many on my shelves and then I haven't even really counted all of them. I am pretty proud of myself because usually I'm pretty good at reading series, to be honest. There were so many that I was going through that I had already completed, so they obviously didn't make the list. Moving forward, I really want to take down some of these series and get them done and gone for good. I don't know if I should do videos where I sit down and I read an entire series, or if it would be more entertaining to kind of pick up a couple different series in one video, like make a little bit of progress in each one. Let me know what you would rather see. I think both could be interesting, especially depending on the series. And then, would they be spoiler or spoiler free? I feel like it would be very, very hard to make a video where I'm reading an entire series and then not give any spoilers. Let me know what you'd like to see from me, and let me know which series you think I should pick up first, which you enjoyed the most, or which ones are maybe worth not even attempting. Especially those that are higher up, like the 8-book series. That's crazy. Imagine I started them and then I don't like them. So again, if you've read any of these, let me know what you thought. Thank you so, so much for watching. Definitely expect some videos in the future where I am trying to take some of these series down and get them crossed off the list. and get them out of my life, and who knows, maybe even find a new favorite series. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff that you know how to do, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.